All right, happy Saturday, kings and queens. Welcome. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the behavioral and the psychological traits of the Black experience. Today, on this beautiful Saturday, I am stepping outside of my comfort zone and I'll be covering Arionne Curry for a brief second. Normally I wouldn't, but I want to share some insight. However, before I start, just a friendly reminder to click that like and subscribe button as I continue to build my audience and improve my content in this crazy world of YouTube. Recently, Martell Holt and Sheree Whitfield officially became Chartel. Yes, indeed, honey. I posted about it in my last video. Please feel free to take a look if you haven't caught up. But they doubled down on the rumors by going public and the internet went wild. But so did Arionne Curry. Let's take a look. For those of you, well, first of all, let's back up. Did you read that response? What came to mind? Just if you're a king or a queen and you just read that, what's the first thing that came to your mind when you saw what she wrote? And for those of you who may not know, Arionne Curry is the mistress of Martell Hurricane Holt. He had an outside affair with her while married to Melody Holt. And this affair continued over the course of a 7-year time span, and it resulted in an outside child of Martell's marriage. Let me give you just a little bit of history about Arionne. A lot of people don't like Arionne. They don't. And they have their reasons. And they feel like she's been extremely vocal with the intimate details of her and Hurricane Holt's intimate life. And she taunted the ex-wife. I got to keep it real. She was very disrespectful to the ex-wife. And she continues to do so now that Martell is with Sheree. For me personally, as I witness the saga, right? Arionne was a hard pill to swallow for many different reasons. All right. So I got to keep it 100. I got to keep it 100. I got to be very transparent, right? I got to be responsible with my commentary. And in order to do that, I got to tell you the whys, the behind the scenes. Recently, I personally reached out to Arionne and I requested an interview, to which she politely declined. She wasn't rude. She wasn't abrupt. She wasn't mean. She was very cordial. She briefly explained her reason why, which I most certainly understand. But I wish she'd said yes. I really wish she would have taken this opportunity. And here's why. I think I would have done an interview with her justice. And here's some of the reasons why I think it would have been a great opportunity. Number one, I am not a monetized YouTube channel, and I do not qualify to make money off of my YouTube right now. So it would have been a very genuine engagement and interaction for me. And I would not have made not one penny off of it. So I wouldn't have been in it for the money, number one. Secondly, I'm a wife. Thirdly, I'm an advocate for women, all women, but especially Black women. Fourth, I would have been fair. I would have been hard, but I would have been fair. I would have asked some really tough and hard questions, but I would have shown her the grace that she's yet to show herself. And fourth, I'm not necessarily a fan of hers, right? But just because I'm not a fan, that would have been a challenge for me to be respectful, to show up as my best self, and to treat her with respect. So considering how I bring a different perspective, I think it could have been a very interesting dynamic to say the least. And I genuinely, as a woman, wanted to help her reconstruct her image in a way that I personally don't believe she's capable of doing alone. I think she's going to need a lot of help with that. I don't believe she possesses the right skills yet. Okay. I don't believe she has the skill set yet to be able to do that on her own. And I believe, and I'm observing just like the rest of you, that she continues to fall back into this narrative that depicts herself as a sex kitten. As a sex kitten. Something to be used by men. And maybe, just maybe, she's never been taught. Or maybe she doesn't believe that a woman is more than her body. To me, that would have been a great starting place to talk, to dialogue, to talk about the why of her behavior. Forget the affair, right? The affair is the effect. What's the cause? What's the real reason behind the behavior? And you got to kind of dig in deep and really get to know a person. And that's how I would have swung that interview. Who are you? Tell us a little bit more about how you were raised. Tell me about, your beliefs as a woman, as a child, your goals, your aspirations. However, I did leave the door open should she change her mind. I believe a good blogger, a good influencer, a great YouTuber is one that challenges themselves to grow and evolve in their content. And that's what I'm doing with myself as I come out the gate early. I don't want to get stuck in a narrative. I don't want to typecast myself. I want to be able to give you a well-rounded perspective as my audience when you tune in. And in order to do so, I got to cover shit that triggers me, right? Women, men, topics, conversations, things I believe in, things I don't. But let me say this, in order to do that, you cannot be afraid to tell the truth on this platform. Arionne, if you are listening to this, I'm going to say this to you in the most sincere, genuine, authentic manner. That text, these types of responses, you cannot continue to do. You have a daughter who's watching you. And you must understand, if you don't already, how generational curses work. You're setting her up for failure if you don't course correct. If you can't do it for the love of yourself, then do it for the love and the betterment of your daughter. Honey, you are embarrassing her when you post things like that. It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away even after you delete it. Kids at school can read, and they may give her a really hard time about you bearing that scarlet letter across your chest. Mothers won't allow their daughters to play with her or invite her to parties, sleepovers, and fun things that she's supposed to be engaged in at this tender young age. And not because she's not a beautiful, brilliant, good child, but they're going to do it because of your behavior. It's not right, but it is the way it is, right? You've got to get your shit together. You got to stop. If there's kids in a room, if there's kids in the car and you're listening to my YouTube, cover their ears for a second because I'm about to say some real stuff. And I'll give it about 2 seconds. Tell them to cover their ears. Arionne, if he's licking your ass, pardon my French, y'all. Pardon my French, but we got to keep it 100. If he's licking your ass the way you say he is, then let that be between you and that man. Because every time you drop your son off to daycare or you go to school on the behalf of your daughter, they're going to label you as a condemned woman. Condemnation brings about feelings of guilt, shame, regret, fear, and unworthiness. And when you post shit like that, I know what you're doing. You're calling him out. What you're saying is don't play with me, but you're also playing with yourself, right? Because you're showing the world that you feel unworthy of showing yourself decency and respect. Cover yourself. Cover your intimate details. And I believe deep in my heart that you know what you did was wrong. But you want to bring him down because he hurt you. He lied to you. He destroyed your life, right? But it's chess and not checkers. And he will continue to destroy you mentally, physically, and emotionally. But if you're going to play, honey, if you're going to play this game, then make your move, make your next move, your best move, and put his ass on child support.